welcome back to the Reality Receipts podcast starring me, Storytime with Ricky.
And me, Reality Ashley. And we just watched Love Island USA season 7, episode 18. I'm sure all of you just watched it as well. It was, like I said on Instagram, my flabbergasted at these decisions, these eliminations. Obviously, we're going to talk about 16 and 18, but we feel like we have to mention we can't not talk about what happened at the end there just for a second. So
Ashley, I am so freaking pissed. Like, I am just so enraged. Like, I had to legitimately take a chill pill because I was like, what? Like, you dumbasses, like, what? Who told you? Who keeps letting them vote? First of all, like, who keeps letting them
right, let us do it.
let us do it? And I think where we went wrong, I know I went wrong because I gave my little vote to Nick, who ain't getting he's never getting a vote from me again, is like
No.
how people were rallying and consciously deciding to save Huda. Nobody thought to do that for Jeremiah. Like, there was a whole campaign like, oh, Huda deserves a redemption arc. Like, let's get her to Casa so she can meet her match. And nobody did that for Jeremiah. And we forgot that Jeremiah's biggest hater is Ace. And so not voting for him left him in a position of vulnerability to get voted out. And I can't believe it. Like, that, it was the wrong choice. Like, it was the wrong choice. Ace, I liked Ace. I was an Ace supporter. I was an avid, when people were saying that Ace, oh, he's hating on Jeremiah. I was like, no, I thought that Ace got it. Like, I was like, Ace gets us. He understands what we are seeing, but he got it wrong too. He got it wrong. He thought it was Jeremiah. Jeremiah.
Well, I feel like, we did originally think Jeremiah was maybe playing the system a little bit. We weren't sure if he was genuine, but I feel like since him and Huda separated, we have seen him be more genuine, or so I thought. And I thought we were getting to know him a bit more, and that his connection with Andrina, is that how we say it? Yeah. Andrina? Okay. Yeah, it was it seemed genuine. I did see some comments when I posted a clip that they're like, oh, he's a love bomber. He's just trying to get in her pants now. And it's like, I don't know, because they didn't show us a lot of any sort of deep conversation or connection with him and Huda. So I don't know if they didn't show it to us or it never happened, right? But just from seeing Huda's conversations now, like with TJ and Pepe, she doesn't seem to be having those good, deep conversations. It's all about sexuality and all of that. And so it's hard to know if we're being shown one way or it is one way, because it didn't seem to me like he was love bombing Andrina. They seem to have a good connection.
Not love bombing Andrina. The people who support Huda want to make Jeremiah the problem. And the thing is, it's in the beginning, I had thought that Jeremiah was the love bomber, but once I realized that it was Huda, I was like, oh, okay. And if you notice in the bed, she's always getting physical. She's the one getting physical. She weaponizes sex against the men she dates. And we've seen that. You know what I mean? And it's like, you see that even in her chats with Pepe and TJ. She's getting handsy. She's getting touchy. She did the same thing with Jeremiah. And I just don't understand how she deserves a second chance and Jeremiah does not. Like, Ace manipulated that vote. And I know there are people in my comments like, oh, why is it Ace's fault? Like, Nick wanted him gone just as much. We literally seen Ace convincing Taylor and Nick right before the vote, before they even knew that there was going to be a vote. Oh, look at him. He just locks in on one girl. Like, look at him. He's doing it again. Like, he friend zoned Iris the minute she came in here. Little does he know, Iris friend zoned him. You know what I mean? He's already telling the camera, I'm going to take it slow this time. But Andrina asked to kiss him in front of the group. You know what I mean? So what do they expect Jeremiah to do at this point?
Do you think
he broke things off with Iris? I mean, he broke things off with Huda, explored with Iris. It's just a friendship. His type comes in, he explores with her. What is his Ace? What do you expect him to do at this point?
Yeah. Do you think Ace is just mad because originally he wanted Huda and then Jeremiah got her and now he wanted Andrina and Jeremiah got her again? That's what it's giving, right?
Yep, that's what it's giving. It's giving Ace is a fucking hater. And I didn't think that before. When people were saying that, like, oh, Ace is just mad because Jeremiah is good looking and he keeps getting the girls that Ace wants. I was like, like, I don't think that. Like, I didn't think that. I didn't see it that way. I was like, no, like, you know, I don't know what Ace thought that we thought, because he said, oh, he had Taylor say it, like,
Hmm.
oh, like, just based on what America's seeing. What the hell do you think that we're seeing? Like,
Yeah.
now it's like you think that we're mad that they closed off so early. That's not why we were mad. We were
Hmm.
mad that Huda was getting mad at him for playing the game, kissing in challenges, like being super possessive, like,
Yeah.
that's what we were mad at. And I thought Ace was seeing all of that. That's why I was like, Ace is not a hater. He's clocking it how it is. But now I see the whole time you were never trying to convince the villa that Huda was the problem. You were trying to convince the that I can't even talk. that fucking
It's okay.
Jeremiah was the problem, because I'm like, how
Hmm.
can you possibly see
Yeah.
Jeremiah getting spoken to that way? Because at first I was like, the villa's not seeing what we're seeing. Like, they don't see the
Hmm.
private conversations, they don't see the nitpicky, they don't see all of that. But you guys saw it firsthand where this girl's flipping him off, she's calling him all kind of names. How do you see that and think that Jeremiah is the problem?
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah, I did feel like things sort of changed in the last episode in that game where, like, we'll get there, but when they were kind of saying the negative things about Jeremiah there too. So, do you think the whole villa has convinced themselves that America is on Huda's side and now they feel like that's what we want?
yeah,
Because they all seem
absolutely.
to have completely
Absolutely.
lost touch of what actually happened. And they're like
Yeah.
thinking too much about what we're thinking versus
Yeah.
what they saw go down. Like they
Yeah.
saw how she acted, but
Yeah.
they
I
seem to
think they're
not be like, yeah.
all convinced. And the girls made a dumbass decision too. Why the hell would you send Hannah home when
Mm-hmm.
she's the only one with a strong connection up there? I'm convinced that they did it so so that Pepe could get with Huda. Little do
Yeah.
they know, Pepe don't fucking want Huda. You know what I
No.
mean? Like,
Well, you know what? I originally was shocked about Hannah, and I was like, that makes no sense. Like, Amaya doesn't have a connection, and Iris doesn't have a connection. But then when I thought about it, I was like, I think Iris and TJ do seem to have a good connection
yeah,
going. Not that we care that much about them because they're both so new, but they do seem to have something. And do you think for Hannah, it was just the whole how upset she was about Charlie and then going right back to Pepe right away? And she still kind of talks about being sad about Charlie, so maybe they're concerned that she doesn't actually like Pepe, but she just wants to stay, like she's not being genuine.
I don't know. I don't know. It didn't make any sense to me, because
No.
to me, I was like, they said their reasoning was like, we're just, it's based on just the experience,
Hmm.
whatever that even means. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I think it's for Huda.
Hmm.
Pepe is the only one she's expressed an interest in, and they're like, okay, well, with Hannah gone, Huda can explore that, but Pepe doesn't like Huda. You know what I mean?
No.
So, and again, it's going to be very hard for Huda to find a connection in this house, because the bombshells get to see what's going on in the villa. Nobody's going to go for that. And I'm surprised that Huda wasn't in the bottom three. I'm
Yeah,
surprised.
there does seem to be a big movement going on to give her a redemption and people on her side, which like I've said, I could get there and be on her side if it was only what happened between her and Jeremiah, because maybe there's stuff we're not seeing. Her reactions were still not okay, though. And if a man did that, it'd be a different story. But
Mhm.
she also treated a lot of the women that way. So I'm just like, that is her personality. That is who she is. So I don't know how we can get on board with that, because it's not like I saw someone comment like, "Oh, Jeremiah love bombed her," and yeah, I'm like, but that doesn't explain the way she treated the women, and it doesn't explain a lot of her like her nitpicking at him. Like, it's not like she just crashed out when he left her, and that could be explained. Like, we've all done that.
Right.
People did it last season. Had that moment of weakness where they got upset at the person for leaving them, but then they come back to normal after that. But it was just like days and days and days of her attacking people. So
Yeah.
I don't get the
Yeah.
redemption arc.
I don't get the redemption arc either, because like a man wouldn't have gotten that type of grace. You know what I mean?
No.
They just wouldn't have. And like you said, it's not an isolated situation. Like, how I really believe that production must have spoken to her and told her, you cannot act
Hmm.
like that, but it's just not fair. I really hope that they bring Jeremiah back for Casa. Like, I know that they've
Yeah.
done it before for the UK. I know we've thought about it for maybe Charlie or Baldasha, but Jeremiah was finally in a connection that I wanted to see where it went. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And people have said that like Ace is threatened by Jeremiah in the sense of like I never agreed that Ace just wanted to break Huda and Jeremiah up because he saw them as a strong couple and didn't want them to make it to the end. I don't believe that. I believe that like Ace kind of seen it as fake and toxic and was like that it's off. And so I had always agreed with Ace on that, like it's off, like the connection's off, like it's not as like locked in and genuine as like they want us to believe it is. But
Mhm.
when he just started saying the same thing about Andrea, that's when I realized like you're also playing a game, Ace, because Taylor, your best friend, has not made any other connection in this house. He's not
Yep.
pulled one single person for a chat. Not one. Not one. He stood up for Sierra in the
Mhm.
recoupling, didn't get recoupled with her, never pulled her for a chat. We've never seen Taylor pull a girl for a chat. So how are you getting mad at Jeremiah
He's
for locking in on one girl?
Yeah, he's in a full couple too, and we barely see him interact with that, like Olandria, like he's barely in it. And so it's, yeah, it makes no sense. Although he wasn't on the chopping block tonight. If he was, I feel like he would have made more sense to go home, but he
Oh,
wasn't. So,
Taylor?
yeah.
And Ace would never let Taylor go home. And if Ace
No.
was in the bottom and not Jeremiah, Ace wouldn't have went home. If that was the case, I do believe that Austin would have went home. But I thought that the boys, once they seen the girls vote, was going to send Pepe home. That would
Hmm.
have made sense to me. But I think that Ace is a hater, and I think that he wants um Ad- Adrena, uh,
Andre, Andrina?
Andrena.
Yeah.
I think he
And
wants her, and I
Sabrina?
think Nick also wants her. So you
Yeah.
got to
Oh,
give.
that's a whole other thing we got to get into, Nick.
Yeah,
But
like
anyways.
you got rid of your competition. Like, you know what
Hmm.
I mean? And I just the thing is Ace to me, now I see it more clearly because I'm like, Ace, you also locked in on Shelly day one. And you tried
Hmm.
to pretend you were interested in Amaya. You weren't. You literally didn't give her the time of day after you coupled with her. Then you
Hmm.
tried to pretend like you were interested in Iris. You weren't. You talked to her twice, made her breakfast once, and then that ship sailed.
Hmm.
You're trying to make the viewer think that you're exploring, think that you're not locked in, but you are. I now believe that you are playing a game too. Like, oh, I can't
Hmm.
lock in with Shelly too early. I have to lock in with her at the perfect time, and then we're going to write it off. I don't like how Ace is manipulating the house. I don't like how Nick and Taylor just listen to whatever Ace tells them to do. Ace is officially on my shit list, and I'll fuck with him no more after
Yeah.
tonight because you sent Jeremiah home out of pure jealousy. And if we see Ace try to talk, well, he ain't gonna get to talk to Andrina because Casa Amor is coming, but we'll get
Yeah.
there. But if you try to talk to Andrina after this, after Jeremiah is gone, you're
Then we
next.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, you're next.
I feel like we only could have found out who the real problem is between Huda and Jeremiah if they both stayed and they both went new couples. And then I have a feeling that we would have seen Huda act exactly the same because
We
even in her
would
first,
have, we would
yeah.
have. But the thing is, I don't think she's going to be able to make a connection so that we could see it. Because she's going
Hmm.
to get in a couple with somebody else and she's going to act the same way. Because you
Yeah.
and I both know this isn't the first time we've seen her act this way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because me and Ashley have seen some things that we haven't shared
Yeah.
with you guys that where she acted the exact same way.
Yeah, this is her behavior before the show, and it'll be her behavior after, unless she does a lot of reflecting. But I, even in that first chat she had with TJ, she said something to the effect of like, "Have you been up here to Soul Ties before?" Or something, and he was like, "Yeah, with someone else," and she was like jokingly jealous. But like, that's her go-to move is to be jealous over someone she doesn't even know yet, and also anyone she meets going forward is going to know she's a mother, and as much as we don't want to think that would influence their decision, it is going to. And if you don't want to be with someone that's a mother, you aren't going to be interested in her. So she can't hide that the way she did from Jeremiah, and then it was a little bit too late by the time she told him, but now going forward they know off the bat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
and then I think we also seen in this episode that she's like, I want to know what TJ's think. Like you're already
Yeah.
starting to obsess over this man who hasn't expressed an interest in you. You
Hmm.
couldn't read the room. You couldn't tell that he wasn't interested. We could all
Yeah.
tell, but and she couldn't tell that Pepe wasn't interested. Pepe saying, I like girls that are calm. It's
That
all
was
about
so funny.
personality to me, is him telling you, girl, you're the
Not you.
opposite of what I want. Yeah. So it's like,
What about when she told TJ at the end, right before the recouple or the elimination, when she was like, "I'm not the type of person to say like fuck you," and I was like, "Oh, this is the perfect part for me to do a little flashback to all the times she said fuck you to everybody," because I was like, "How did TJ not laugh in her face when she said that?"
yeah, I'm not the type of person. No, you quite literally said fuck you to Jeremiah. You flipped him the bird and told him fuck you. And it
Hmm.
just like, to me, it was like, first of all, she embarrassed herself. You keep embarrassing yourself. And that's why you need, the reason why I want Huda to go home is because you're embarrassing yourself. Number one,
Hmm.
you're not going to find a connection. Anybody who has watched the way you behave, you're not going to find a correct connection. And
Hmm.
number two, that action from anybody else wouldn't have been acceptable. So that's why I feel like she needs to go home. But like,
Hmm.
you're also, you sat in TJ's face and asked him why. Why do you think it's platonic? And then had the
Hmm.
nerve to say, well, I'm used to guys being obsessed with me and I can
Yeah.
kind of tell that you're not. So I see where your head is at. Like, he just told you where his head was at. Like, he
Yeah.
already cut it off with you. Talk about, I see where your head is at.
Well, I mean, someone out there voted for her to be the favorite, right? So we know at least probably, I don't want to say half, but some people listening right now are totally disagreeing with us and they love Huda. So
Yeah.
maybe if you are one of those people, you tell us why. Because like I said, if it was just the fights with her and Jeremiah, I might be able to see it, but I don't know. I thought we saw like too much behavior. Like, she was coming for the other girls, and then as soon as she was single, she was trying to talk to Pepe and saying, I'm new to this, I don't get it. And that was kind of weird. So, yeah, let us know if you voted for her as your favorite, why, and convince us because
Yeah, from
I
what I've seen
don't
it
see it.
in my comments, from what I've seen in my comments, and that's the thing, is in a comment you can't really go back and forth with, like, you can't like get have a conversation with somebody,
Hmm.
but it's like from my comments it's been like, because I made a video that was like, what did Jeremiah do, you guys? Like, what did he
Hmm.
do? And everyone keeps saying he love bombed her because in the
Hmm.
beginning he made it seem like he didn't want her talking to anybody else, because in that challenge, that first challenge, the blindfold challenge, like, he was so convinced that like she got up, right? Like, that
Yeah.
she got up and she talked to somebody. And that was creating like a false sense of like security within Jeremiah. I
Hmm.
had thought that he was love bombing her too. I was just like, oh, he's laying it on thick. But then when
Yeah.
I'd seen that she was doing it too, I was like, oh, they're laying it on
Yes.
thick with each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then she was laying it on extra thick. But
Yeah.
anybody who, and what I've also seen is people say, oh, well, she's real. We've all had blown ups like that before. We've all gone off on our men before. And I think the issue with that is he's not your man.
Yeah.
It had been 10 days at that point, and that doesn't make it okay to speak to anyone like that.
Hmm.
And if a man was doing that, he would have been kicked off. If a black woman was doing that, she would have been seen as this aggressive, like black women and women of color, or Huda is a woman of color, but black women have to be so poised all the time that if they would have had a blow up like that, it would have been like, oh, this ghetto bitch. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And it's just like, this isn't the fucking Bad Girls Club, Huda. This isn't Zeus Network, okay? Like, you can't fucking act like that. But I think that
Yeah.
people are giving her a pass to act
Hmm.
like that. And so, and I get it, like, okay, she deserves a redemption or whatever, but to say that she deserves a redemption, I don't believe she deserves a redemption, because like you said, her action is, this is a character. This is her
Hmm.
character at this point. And
Hmm.
it's not a character flaw, like Sierra said. And I just don't, I think she needs to go home. I think she needs to go home. I think she needs to get therapy. And I don't think that she deserves another shot and Jeremiah doesn't. And by
Hmm.
Jeremiah going home, it's just validating in her delusional mind that, oh, it wasn't me, it was him, I knew it wasn't
Yeah.
me, it was him, so I
Hmm.
hope production sees the outpour of backlash that this is getting
Yeah.
and they bring Jeremiah back, because I do want to see where his connection goes with Andrina. Otherwise she's going to be the next voted out because she doesn't have a
Hmm.
connection, or she's gonna go
Yeah.
for Nick and it's gonna blow up in Sierra's face, or she might go for Ace and it's gonna blow
Yeah.
up in Shelly's face. Like,
I do think still to the end though, Huda did think her and Jeremiah were gonna get back together. Like when
She
they
said
had
it.
that little,
She
yeah,
said
she
it.
did at that little chat at the end. And I think that's exactly where we see who the problem is, because he was very like mature about the conversation, and you could tell he doesn't have those feelings. He saw her behaviors. He's closed off from her now. He's not into her, and you could tell she is into him still because she liked that toxicness. She liked that relationship being the
Used
way
to
it
it.
was with the drama. She wanted them to have this roller coaster up and down toxic drama the whole time, which is why I thought last time we met that we were going to see that. I thought he was going to cave and be back with her, and I think that's really commendable that he didn't. He moved on and he did the
Yeah.
right thing. And
Yeah. He
she
did the right
would
thing
have,
and still went home for it.
yeah, and she would have kept it going
She
if,
would
you
have
know,
if he allowed
the,
it. But that's what I'm saying. That toxic cycle, that's why you never think it's the end, is because you're used to it. And you're
yeah.
used to being able to act ass and the guy just take you back.
Well, the
That's
thought,
what she thought it was gonna that's what she thought was gonna happen. She said, what did she say in the chat where she was like, I still thought we'd end up together or something? She said something.
the fact that she thought she could yell at him in front of the whole villa saying like you're a pussy and you're a bitch and that they would end up back together just says it all, I think. Like she doesn't think those are relationship ending words, you know? She thought like that's normal and we'll still be fine after this. And he knew that was the end because you can't talk to someone like that and still be with them. So I
But
think
how has no one in the villa also seen that as
mhm,
relationship ending words? Like we literally hear Nick say, "Oh, it sounds like you want to drop Huda because she called you a bitch," as if that's not a valid reason.
mhm. Yeah.
Like nobody except Sierra, and even Sierra was like, "Oh, just chill on the name calling." Nobody said, "Girl, I don't know if
Mhm,
he is." I would be done with you if that were me. Like you
mhm.
can't just talk to a man like that and think everything's
And
gonna be tea.
that's where I think that they're thinking too much about what we're thinking, right? I think they want to tell Huda and go in on her, but then they're like, what if it's like last season with Leah and everybody loves her and everybody's like, yay, Huda, and we're like the mean girls going against her, and they're thinking too much about it.
Yeah.
Because I think if they weren't thinking about that, they would just be reacting to her behavior, but they're thinking of all the layers, and like they don't know what we're being shown, right? And they might be seeing good moments from her that we're not, and so they're like torn, like half and half. What are they seeing? What's like, why are they voting this way? But I thought people voting Jeremiah and Iris made it obvious what we were thinking, like getting him away from Huda, but
No,
apparently
it
it
doesn't,
wasn't.
because you can always think, oh, just
We're
like
saving
Olandra,
Huda.
yeah, we're saving her. We need
Hmm.
to get her away from this toxic love bomber. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and there's just nobody else to put her with, So
No.
it's just it was really
Hmm.
shocking. I didn't understand the vote either way tonight with Jeremiah. I really hope they bring him back for
Well,
Casa.
I can't believe it's tomorrow. Like it does not feel like the right
It
time at
doesn't feel
all.
like the right time. There's no solid couples in the house for Casa to even
No.
hit the way. They're bringing in 6 boys. That's a lot of boys.
Yeah,
So it's
I know.
like I need to. Did they release their pictures? Because I tried to pause on
They
it.
I did too.
I
You
tried
can
to
see it through
pause
the
and
little leaf.
I was trying to look.
I did that too. I screenshot it and I'm like, I can see their face through the leaf a little, but I didn't see any like I don't know. Like I was watching that top like 5 Casa moments and I forgot like they've brought people's exes and they've brought obviously people we know and so I don't know. It could be something exciting or it could just be a bunch of random people, but I feel like we need something because yeah, things are weird right now. Like
Nick,
there's no
if the girls are hot, which I didn't, I need to look, but it's like if the girls are hot, Nick's
they
bringing
do.
somebody. If,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
there's no solid couple to where I fear like Casa's not going to hit the same.
Maybe that is what it needs though. Like maybe Casa will make some of them realize that they liked their person, right? And then they go back alone, but then that person picked a new person. That's usually where that like drama comes in. Because sometimes I think especially for the men, like it's so they're so together 24/7, right? And they start to feel like suffocated and they think like what's happening with Nick and Sierra, where he's like pulling away now. And then I think when they get that time apart, that's when they're like, "Oh, I did really like her." But
Yeah. I
they
think
also
it will
might.
definitely be a shock to the boys if well, Andrea's gonna come back with somebody because she's single, and if she came back with Jeremiah. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
guys just kicked him out and now you guys
Hmm.
have to face him again. Because I thought that
Yeah.
was really fake of Nick to go up to Jeremiah and be like, you know, you're my boy. It's nothing personal.
Yeah.
It was very personal. But Ace convinced you guys, because you guys don't have a mind of your own, convinced you guys that something was going down that wasn't going down. And
Hmm.
and and now you would just feel stupid to have to sit with him in your face again. Austin should have went home tonight.
Hmm.
Austin does not have a connection.
Yeah, that
And
was very, very weird. Because I don't even think he's that close with like Ace and the other guys, right? Like he's not really in
no,
the little
he's
group.
that's why it was a vendetta against Jeremiah.
Uh-huh.
Austin, remember, Austin is the one that was like, fuck all of them. When he
Yeah.
because Jeremiah was his boy. Jeremiah
Yeah.
was his Austin is the one who called all three of them Ace's minions. He called
And he
all
was
three of
right.
them Ace's minions, and he was only close to Jeremiah. So he didn't have a friendship with any of these boys. And
No.
y'all sent Jeremiah home and not Austin.
Yeah. Well, I did watch After Sun this weekend, and Ariana said Casa's tomorrow. She did say they're doing a bunch of surprises that they've never done before. So now I'm wondering what that could be. What do you think?
I can't think, Ashley. I'm so pissed about tonight's episode. Like, I'm livid. Like, when I tell you, I was in here like sweating. Like, I was in here like, what? Like, Hannah didn't make sense to me. I love that Hannah was like, I'm finding it really hard to talk to you guys right now because you
Yeah.
guys just voted me off.
Did me dirty.
You guys just did me so dirty, and your excuse was stupid. But now
Yeah.
I really do think it's Pepe. And then it's like Jeremiah. Like I just don't understand how he was able to. I don't even remember what your question was. Oh, what do I think's gonna happen in Casa? I don't know, but I
No,
need to pause
we'll get
and
there.
look at the boys and the girls
Hmm.
because
They looked
I
hot from what I saw, but
I don't remember any. Maybe it's because I was seeing red that I don't remember seeing any fine shit like for the boys. Like I don't remember seeing anybody that was like, "Oh, super fine." You know what I
yeah,
mean? But I will say that after tonight's episode, I'm not on the Olandria Taylor train.
no,
I'm not. I don't buy
there's
it. Like when
just nothing there.
she planned a date before he planned a date. When she was like, "Oh, everything that you've done," and I'm thinking in my head, what has he done besides maybe
Yeah,
the dance class? And
yeah,
then like we're at the stage 3 weeks in where you're asking what kind of fruit somebody likes. Like that's where y'all are at. Wait, oh, I don't like pineapple. Oh,
well, and
I
then
do.
I know I'm like she brought up pineapple, which is a good reason they could have had a little spicy chat, and he's just like I don't like pineapple. I'm like oh boy, like he can't even like he has no flirtation with her at all. It's like two brother and sister talking or something.
Yeah.
Like there's no
Yeah.
romance.
What I found weird was her saying, I just want my cowboy and ride off into the sunset on his horse. Like, I want that for me so bad. And I
Hmm.
feel like she wants that so bad. I love Alandria. She's my favorite cast member, but like, you want that so bad that you can't even see that this man's not
Hmm.
into you. Because even when she said that, he was like, I got you. Like, you're not making eye contact with her, not looking at her. Like,
Hmm.
there's just no chemistry there. And I don't know why Taylor keeps getting saved. Like,
No,
because
I
you don't have another connection either, and you don't like the one that you're in. So
yeah, I think she just likes the idea of Taylor more
yeah,
than him himself. Like she likes the thought of them together, his cowboyness, the country man. That's what she wants,
yes,
and she's
same.
like, she likes the thought of it all. But him as a person, she just if you don't have that spark, you don't have it, and you
Yeah,
cannot force it. Like I think
yeah.
she's just praying that it's gonna magically come one day,
Um,
and it's been 3 weeks, and I think
yeah,
it's
and
not
I feel like
happening.
she had more of a connection with Jalen. Like you
Yeah.
said that he got physical too fast, but I think Jalen was watching the show and noticed that she wanted more physical, so he was trying to lead
Hmm.
with that, and then it actually turned her off. But I thought she had a really good connection with Jalen. And
Yeah.
speaking of Jalen, he has 1.4 million followers on TikTok.
It's
He's just
crazy.
made the account like 2 or 3 days ago.
Uh-huh.
And he's basically going to be a travel influencer now. So I
Yeah,
love that for him because
I know.
they didn't give him no interviews, no press after he got voted off the island, maybe because he wasn't there for long. And I
Yeah.
love that for Jalen, that he said he's gonna start making content with his grandma.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe he didn't get to do any interviews or anything. Like, obviously, I slid in his DMs to see if he would come talk to us, but I think they're very controlled by Peacock, obviously. They have like a little circuit that they all do, but he didn't get to do the circuit. So I don't
Yeah.
know. That's kind of, I feel like everyone that was there, like in the villa, at least for a day or two, should get to do a couple interviews. So we got questions. So,
They thought that nobody cared, and I love that he is getting that support because
mhm.
he deserves it. Like I know a lot of people thought that Amaya should have went home tonight. I'm glad she didn't. Amaya is like
I
really
know.
funny and she brings a lot to the villa. I do think, don't you guys don't hate me for saying this. I do think that Amaya is a lot though, because
Yeah.
she also it's Huda 2.0, but just not as extreme. Like when you do like, and I don't think she means to do it. She's just a lover girl, and I don't think like me, but the babe and the baby
Yeah.
can throw people off a lot. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? So I'm like,
Especially in this environment where you are like making sure either you're closed off or you're not, and it's like every little body language and words you're using is like letting the villain know if you're closed or not. So like, yeah, when you're calling each other baby and babe in this environment, it means something, and I get why
right.
they don't like it. Like if she was in the real world with them and it's just the two of you and you're like babe, baby, it doesn't necessarily mean anything,
And
but
I didn't necessarily read it as she was all about Austin. Like, you know what I mean? He
no.
kept saying, "Oh, I don't, she's obsessed with me after 2 days," and I didn't read it as she was obsessed with him. Like, I think if somebody came in that Amaya liked, she would explore it. But I
Yeah.
think she's just like when she's. But I did notice in one of their first couple chats, like she's trying to hug him a lot and trying to like
Yeah.
go in for a kiss, and he's kind of just like, you know.
Yeah.
But so I'm
It's just
glad she stayed. I guess if it was up to me, I would have sent Iris home, which I guess isn't fair because she hasn't had enough time there like Jalen, and she is
yeah.
forming a connection with TJ. But
I feel
mm,
bad for Iris. I mean, poor girl got in there. We stuck her with Jeremiah just to get rid of Huda and Jeremiah. And then now no one voted her as a favorite. She was in the bottom three. So, like, that would have been rough if she went home because it's like you
yeah,
literally were only there just to break up Huda and Jeremiah. And then
yeah,
we were done with you. So I did feel like I would have felt bad if she went home. I thought Amaya was going home in Austin just because they have the no connection. Like,
yeah.
literally, not one person that they like or that likes them back. And so I just thought that was the easy choice, but I like Amaya and I think she adds a lot to the villa.
Me
So I
too.
didn't want her to go, but it was just like that made sense to
That
me.
was the
But
right choice. Yeah,
yeah.
that was the right choice. But uh I don't know. I guess it's
I
like
know.
I'm in my feels about
Yeah.
everything. I don't even remember what happened in episode 16.
Yeah,
So
should we
we're
go
gonna have
back?
to let's go back. Let's go way
Way
back to the
back.
beginning.
Yeah, so basically, when we go back to episode 16 at the start, was right after the twerking competition with Meg the
Okay.
Stallion.
Okay.
So they had their first little chats with the bombshell. So that was where Nick told Andrina that he's open.
Mm.
TJ said he's a Sagittarius, so that's negative
Oh,
points.
TJ also was like, "Oh, you got money," when she said
Yeah.
Calabasas. That's the biggest red flag and ick in a guy is when he be like, "Oh,
Mhm.
you got money."
Yeah,
Boy, shut up.
it's not your
Um,
money, so.
yeah, like, boy, shut up. So that okay, now it's all coming back to me. Yeah, and
All
then
I know
Iris kind
about,
of asked him for a kiss, right? Like she kind of asked him for that
yeah.
kiss.
It was a little awkward, but I did feel like he was feeling her. So I
Me
didn't think
too.
it was,
Me too.
yeah. Yeah, like I didn't think it was that awkward, but um yeah, he said he was looking for a girl that believes in him or something, which
More than
was
he believes in himself. Oh yeah, there we go.
yeah.
It's all
Yes,
coming back
yes.
to me.
Yeah, so they had
Mm-hmm.
a little chat like that. And then Jeremiah talked to Andrina. That's when she looked at the camera, I think. Did you see all these clips people have been making? She like looked at the camera and she's like, I'm going to take your man. But she looks directly at the camera when she does it. So everyone at home is like, my man, this
Yeah,
man.
no,
Like,
I
it's
see
so
that. That was
funny.
so funny. Everyone's like, Me? Yeah, like, cause
Yeah.
you definitely could take anybody's man, bitch.
Anyone's.
Okay, anybody's. I believe you. Do not. I believe you. Just I
she,
believe you fully.
she has her pick of any of the men. So
Ever.
yeah,
Any
that
of the
that
men
was
ever.
funny.
Like, I'm sure somebody was in my comments. You know, I don't just believe comments, but somebody was like, "Oh,
Mhm.
yeah, like someone knows her. She only dates basketball players and
Mm.
athletes." And I'm like, "Well, that makes sense. Like, look at her. You know what I mean? Now, from her
I saw
page,
that too.
you can tell she deals with established men because I don't know. I mean, not to say that she doesn't have a Rolls Royce and can afford Tom Ford and Dior, but everything on her page, designer down head to toe, driving in Rolls
Oh.
Royce, Van Cleef.
So none of these guys in the villa would be her type then, because I don't know if these guys got money.
They can't
So
afford her,
not
basically.
yet, at
Yeah,
least.
I'm like, they can't afford her, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Now, I think visually, her and Jeremiah look really good together
Yeah.
because they're both attractive people, but yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I feel like she's just so hot that she doesn't really have to be with a hot, young, broke guy. Like she can
Yeah.
do that in a few years, but she might as well just live her best life on yachts or whatever she wants
Yeah,
to do.
for
'Cause-
sure, for
yeah.
sure. I still
I,
haven't been able to answer if her booty's real or not because I
I
just,
think someone in our comments on our last video said it looked real to him. I don't know if he's an expert. I don't know who he
yeah.
was, but he said it looked real. So let's take
I've
his
seen
word.
discourse like tonight when she was in the bathing suit, like in the mirror. I was like, it looks, I don't know, like from the side, it looks a little like it could be fake, but I have no idea. So the fact that
Yeah.
you have to ask this much means either which way, even if
Yeah.
it is BBL or shots, it looks really good. So
Yeah. Yeah, if it's real and people think it's not, that's a good sign. So,
yeah, yeah.
what about when TJ said to Sierra, "Oh, you look so much better in person"? Like, I think he was trying to give her a compliment, but it did not come out right
Yeah, it
at
didn't
all.
land well. He was saying
So,
like some cringy stuff. And I
yeah.
remember in episode 16 thinking that TJ and Sierra seemed to be having a good chat. I thought that of all the girls, he was feeling her the most, but then we hear him say that he's
Mhm.
actually feeling Iris the most.
Yeah.
But I thought that him and Sierra were having some good chats because we hear Nick tell Andrina that he's open, and then later that night, him and Sierra got down for the first time.
Yeah.
So
I know. I was like, I don't know. For me now, watching back, like what's happened with them and what happened with Huda and Jeremiah, I feel like just for your own sanity, like not sleeping together before you close off is probably smart. Because I feel like these people sleep together before they're closed off, and then it hurts a lot more, or it's more has more weight when they're like, I still want to get to know these other people. Because you're kind
yeah,
of
because
like,
it's like
I thought we were
why?
going in one direction, and we're going in a different direction.
Right.
Because Sierra seemed pretty chill about exploring and seemed super cool about it the day before, and then obviously after they slept together, she felt differently, which is
Yeah,
understandable.
which
So.
what I think what confused me is like the day after we see Nick go tell Ace that it was 25 seconds and that how he feels closer to her than ever. And
Yeah.
that basically, like, we're not closed off, we're still open, but this is my strongest connection and we're on the road to being closed off. So I thought after that conversation with Ace, he was like almost gonna lock in. And then you see him continue to have conversations with Andrina. And then you
Hmm.
also basically he tells Sierra to her face that he wants to explore things with Andrina, which I think is
Uh-huh.
why he voted Jeremiah off.
Yeah, I know. It was hard to see that because I could just see in that conversation where it's like, I think he did feel all those things that he told Ace, but then when they had that conversation and she was getting kind of upset and like you could tell she wanted him to say they were closed off or like, I feel like he just kind of freaked out in that moment and was like, it made him want to explore with Andrina even more because I think he was just like panicking. You know how men do that sometimes they like retreat a little bit when they get overwhelmed, whereas like women where you like go harder for something we want. But I think he was just like panicky in that moment. Like that's why I think Casa might be good for him to get away from Sierra and just like
Oh no, he's gonna
realize
act,
things. But
no, I think he's gonna act a fool in Casa.
yeah,
But my thing is that you're doing all of that, and then you're like taking her tea that TJ makes her.
yeah, that was
Sierra,
weird.
yeah,
Yeah.
Sierra played it the first. night she played it good because he went and talked to Andrina, she went and talked to TJ. She seemed
Hmm.
unbothered. He was really bothered that TJ pulled her. So I feel like
Yeah.
after they slept together, if Sierra would have just kept that same energy and like started
Yes.
pulling TJ for chats, like I think it would have drawn Nick closer. But to
Hmm.
Sierra's point, like yeah, you do get more emotional after you have sex. And after the game, I would have had a conversation with Nick too because he was doing a lot in that game. Like,
Yeah.
okay, the games are for fun. You get to kiss other people, but you licking necks, you blindfolding bitches, you picking
Yeah.
hoes up. You
Yeah.
doing too much, Nicholas. And I'm a you doing
Neat.
too much, Neek. You doing too much, Neek.
Yes.
It's not funny and it's not cute. So
No.
I understand her being upset about it because she's already
Totally.
been through this with Neek. Like she's been through it with Beldasha, and it's like,
Hmm.
okay, like I'm not gonna be in another position where I just sit back and I let you explore. And before these past two episodes, I thought that Nick and Sierra were the strongest couple,
Yeah, me
and
too.
Neek just don't
Yeah.
know how to act. He don't know. He
Yeah.
gonna find something in Casa.
Yeah, well, I think he was just worried that the sex was going to change everything. And then as soon as she started acting a little bit different, he was like, it was confirming that for him. Like, okay, everything is different now. And I think if she would have just played it a little cooler, he wouldn't have been like that. But the game, like you said, just watching all of that, it was hard. It's just not like she could just act like it didn't bother her if it did. So I think it's hard to like be genuine and say what's actually bothering you without seeming like clingy and going all Huda on
But
him.
I
So
feel like she communicated it very well.
yeah.
I don't think it was I thought it was a green flag. She expressed her emotions like very clearly. Like I think she was very clear with Neek and he
Hmm.
she honestly Sierra doesn't have issues making connections. Like she seems
No.
to be able to talk to people very easily. And so he
Hmm.
better get his shit together because Casa's, like I think
Yeah.
we seen in tonight's episode, she was upset. She kind of shut him off. Like you could tell she was so mad at him, just how she was
Yeah.
operating with him that day.
Hmm.
But I think to her point where she was like, I'm not gonna let him see me cry. And if that's how he wants to
Hmm.
act, then okay. You know what I mean? So I think this
Yeah.
will be their real test. And I hope
Yeah.
she comes back from Casa with somebody else just to give him a taste of his own medicine. He deserves
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that would be funny. Yeah, I do we have to talk about the milk challenge or should we just skip over that? Because it was just
I don't
nasty,
know. It's
nasty,
nasty and
nasty.
disgusting. It's just I
Yeah,
don't understand why Love Island makes them spit stuff into each other's mouth. It's
I
gross.
know.
We don't. The
It's
only
too
thing to
much.
talk about in that challenge, to be honest, is Huda picking Pepe. Talk about
Yeah.
I didn't know I
Yeah.
had to kiss him at the end. Okay, you went at the end, so you watched it literally 10 times. You forgot you
Hmm.
had to kiss the man, and then when you did kiss the man, you did the absolute most.
Yeah.
Girl, shush. You knew you had to kiss that man, and then
Hmm.
I guess the only other part is that the questions and how they kept validating
Yeah.
that fucking Jeremiah is the problem. They said that he should
Yeah.
be dumped from the island. I know that they did Huda when they said who's planting drama and watching it grow. Shelly and
Hmm.
Ace picked again. You picked Huda, but then you vote Jeremiah off. Um,
Yeah.
and then Taylor is actually the one, right? Taylor's the one who voted that he should be dumped from the island. So
Hmm.
again, that's all that happened in that game that I was like, okay, like they're just validating Huda to make it seem like Jeremiah is the problem.
Yeah, that was weird to me when they picked him for some of those questions because I was like, yeah, it seems like the whole villa has decided that he's the problem now, even though they just saw what we saw or we thought so. So that's when I felt like things started to turn against Jeremiah. And then,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was validated by them sending him home. So I don't know what that was about. Like, I don't know if they were telling Huda so much that America was trying to save her that they started believing it themselves or what happened because
Yeah.
it all went backwards somehow.
It all went backwards. It
I
all
think
went backwards.
the only other interesting thing at the end of that episode was TJ and Huda's chat, which was awkward. I think we already kind of talked about that though, but he was not feeling her. And then he told her that later, which was good that he did
Yeah,
that,
that at
that he
least
let
he
her know.
told her, but it was still like, I don't think that. I thought that was like again touchy feely because that's just what she leads with, but also like her telling TJ, I mean, yeah, like it's only been a couple of days, like it's there's no harm no foul.
Yeah.
Uh, Now you get it. Now you get
Yeah.
it. Like now you get it. Now it's only been a couple of days. With Jeremiah, it was like that was you were ready to move in with him after the same amount of
Hmm.
time. You know?
And I
So
feel like
I hope they
we're not,
show Jeremiah and Huda's date at the water
yeah.
park where he said, where do you see us going? And her saying the moving in and her saying the kid thing and him actually saying
Hmm.
we can live in the same city. We could so that everybody gets it, so that's clear.
Yeah. You think they will
I
do
don't
that?
know. I don't know
Yeah.
if they'll still show his scenes once
Yeah.
he's gone.
See, I also don't feel like we're gonna get any like genuine behavior from Huda anymore because I do think she's probably been warned by the production and also she's been warned by all the cast and now she knows Jeremiah's home watching her, right? So it's like if she keeps acting the same way, I don't know if like obviously she hasn't had a lot of self-control to this point because there's been cameras the whole time, but now she really knows like if she acts up like everyone will know she's the problem. So I don't know. I think she'll be able to control herself, but we'll see if she even gets a connection. But I don't know if she
I
will.
don't see how she will. I don't see how she will, which is why she needed to go home. You
Yeah.
know, I just she knows. I can't believe she basically told on herself and was like, I still thought that at the end
Yeah.
we'd. I need to go back and see what her exact wording was, but like,
Yeah, I think she said basically that. Like, I thought it would be you and me at the end, even after everything we went through. Like, I still thought it was going to be us at the end. And I believe that she thought that. Like, I definitely think she was expecting that. And I don't know how. After she saw him kissing Andrina, like, it's over at that point. And
what
she was
did you think
clapping
about her clapping? What did you think about
too
her clapping?
much.
Like,
Too much.
she thought that everybody else was going to chime in and clap with her, and they didn't. So, and I don't understand how in that moment people couldn't see like she's still hung up on him, and he's
Yeah.
moving on. He's doing the right thing. You guys still
Uh-huh.
somehow made it his fault.
Yeah. I think that kiss was they had all the rights to do it, but it definitely didn't help with everyone thinking that he was love bombing and locking in on someone so fast. Even though we saw the conversation, it was her idea, but I think that solidified that thought in all of their heads of like he's the problem, even though he's doing nothing wrong. She's just doing Love Island and she's clapping while he kisses someone else, which yeah, should be the red flag, but they didn't seem to get that.
And I think Andrina wanted to kiss in front of everybody so that everybody knew that she was forming a connection with somebody. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Well,
Because up until that
going,
point, the only person that knew that they kissed was Iris, because he shared it with her. He
yeah.
didn't even share it with the boys that they had kissed before,
Hmm. Yes, they had their little secret sharing moment, which was cute.
which was
So,
cute. Like, and
yeah.
Iris friend zoned him first. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like
oh, justice
Jeremiah's
for Jeremiah.
yeah, his interactions with Iris and with Andrina show, I feel like that he wasn't the problem necessarily, or we only saw a few days, but he did seem fine in their interactions, whereas Huda seemed not fine in her interactions with other men. So it's hard
Yeah,
to
I
blame
just
him.
don't understand. Like, so last season when they voted off Andrea for saying that,
Yes.
oh, she locked in on Rob too quick and she wasn't exploring other connections. It's kind
Yeah.
of like this reoccurring thing because it's like you're not even giving a chance. Like, I believe that Jeremiah, if Andrina would have came in while he was with Huda, I think he would have explored because he
Yeah.
was just waiting for somebody who was his type to come in for him to explore with. And I think
Hmm.
that if they sent a man that looked like Jeremiah in, her type, very pretty, very put together, very, you know, I think
Hmm.
she would have been willing to explore too. But
Yeah.
their types weren't in the house, you know?
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, they kind of, if they would have sent Andrina in when they sent Iris in, I think things would have gone better. Because I think, yeah, he would have pulled away from Huda immediately and like explored that connection. Obviously, she would have freaked out, but I think it would have been a better match. Like when we got the chance to vote as America voting and put him with Andrina, then that would have gone better. Iris just wasn't his type, so it just didn't
Yeah.
feel right, you know?
Yeah, I think it would have been like, I think, and I don't know because it seems like the guys had a problem with everything he was doing because even when he was like,
Hmm.
okay, I'll explore with Iris, they had a problem with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I feel like if it was Andrina and he naturally started exploring with her, Huda
Hmm.
would have had a blow up, like she would have cussed him out, and probably we still would have got the FUBs and all of that. But I feel like the guys would have been like, okay, like he's open. I still
Hmm.
think the guy, actually, no, I think the guys would have still blamed him and said, oh, look, he's jumping from Huda to her now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's exploring, right? So what are you?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like Jeremiah couldn't win. And I think it's because
Hmm.
Ace put a target on his back and convinced all of these other guys that Jeremiah, I don't know. I just feel like Jeremiah in some way, shape, or form was a threat to Ace. And
Yeah.
I didn't see that before, but I see that now. Probably because Jeremiah is tall and fine. Ace
Yeah.
is short.
I just saw someone, Christina Coca, she does the funny clips and memes and she has a really good page. So go check it out. I think her username is like Coca Coca, but she said he's like an angry little garden gnome or something, and I thought that
Yeah, it's
was
like
so
when they're
funny.
all standing and he's just like, it's like beep, 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 beep.
I know. I'm like, it's so true. Because
I
we were
was
trying to
team
give him a
Ace. I
chance.
was
You
team
liked him
Ace.
before.
I liked him. I
Yeah.
was team Ace. This whole like, oh, Ace and Shelly know each other. They're plotting. They're scheming.
Yeah, we stuck
I
up
didn't
for
think,
them.
yeah, I didn't think that. But now I definitely think Ace is playing a game. He's playing a game to
Hmm.
win, and I think he sees Jeremiah as like Jeremiah's connection is threatening that
Yeah.
game because I think that if not to say that I think Jeremiah and Andrina were in game, but I do think
Hmm.
that they could have built a strong, solid connection.
Hmm.
And I think Ace wanted Andrina. And I think he didn't want, I think he didn't, but he's also doesn't understand that Nick and Sierra are literally his direct competition if you're worried about like a game, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So do you think he voted Jeremiah off because he just thought him as a couple would be competition to Ace and Shelly, or do you think it's because he wants Andrina?
I think it's both. I think it's
Yeah.
both. I just think he doesn't like Jeremiah for whatever reason. He's convinced
Yeah.
himself that Jeremiah is this like love bombing guy that just locks in on one girl. And I just don't think that's what he was doing here. You
Yeah.
know? That's just not, it's not what he was doing here. Like, you wanted him to
Mm-mm.
explore, he explored. You wanted him to connect with someone else, he did, and it just wasn't good enough. Like,
Hmm.
I don't know. Justice for Jeremiah. Bring Jeremiah back. Hashtag bring Jeremiah back. I'm real pissed about it. I'm real pissed about it.
Do you think he will be at Casa or no?
I hope. I feel like that would be like a really
Yeah.
exciting thing to happen, you
Yeah.
know?
What about Beldasha?
I don't think she's gonna be there. I done forgot
No,
about
I don't know
her.
where the hell she went. She was at the airport with Janae and Serena, and then that's it. That's the last we saw of her. That was like over a week ago, and I don't know. Maybe she went to another show. Maybe she went to Traders. That's filming right now. So,
I
because
don't
I'm
know.
like,
I think that bringing Baldasha back wouldn't be a temptation for Nick. Like I think he
I
would.
think the only reason it would be good is for Taylor, because in her interview, she kept pushing this whole narrative about her and Taylor had a thing, but she was worried about Alandria. That's the only thing I can think of is like if Taylor said to producers, like, I really like her, then
Maybe.
that's the only reason. Not for Nick, I don't think. That would be
Okay.
weird. Yeah.
I need to see the girls and the guys so I could see if I think that anybody's gonna go for anybody. So I can make
Yeah.
predictions.
We need to see Taylor. Like, we haven't seen Taylor talk to anyone but Alandria.
Anyone. That's what
Yeah.
I'm like. How the fuck is Ace getting on Jeremiah? At least Jeremiah talked to Iris and tried to
Yeah.
talk to Andrina. Taylor has not tried to talk to anyone.
No, and I need to see him with some other women to see how he is. If that's just him or if it's Alandria.
He
Like,
had a friend. I don't know if you've seen that. He had his like best friend that's running his tick or
yeah, we
running his
talked about that, I
Instagram. Yeah,
think.
he said, "Oh, that's just how he is. You
Yeah.
know, he's a slow burner. Like that's just how he is."
Yeah.
Oh, and then for those of you guys who like to believe just Instagram posts with words, somebody put
Oh
on
yeah.
their Instagram story that they saw Amaya at the Fiji airport, so that she was the one dumped from tonight's episode. And look how
There's some
wrong they were.
Yeah, they definitely took a guess and thought it would be her and thought they would pretend to have some like information. But yeah, that's why we're not believing Instagram stories anymore. Sometimes they're right, but it's rare. So we got to do a little more
Yeah, you would
research.
think you
But
would take a picture or a
yeah,
video and include it in your
yes,
story caption.
we need receipts, of course. We saw Charlie landed in LAX, so he's back. Well, he's in the States. I don't know if he was there before, but he's there now. So,
Okay.
oh, he's in your city.
Is that my city?
Not, I
In
don't
my
know if you're
city?
interested, but
Nah, he
no.
did on the after sun. You seen him and
Yeah,
Sully
Sully.
were like having a little
Uh-huh.
flirty moment. I did watch After Sun last night too,
Yeah, it
just
was
because.
good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I watched some of it because I was eating a seafood boil. My hands were all dirty, so I was like, I need something
Nice.
to just be on, you know. So
Yeah.
I did watch it. I seen that Nick. They said that Nick didn't. You guys know how we thought he had a little herp on his lip? He was playing football with Charlie, and Charlie busted his lip with his head. So his
Yeah.
lip was actually busted. But it did
And
look
they
like
should
an
have put
open
like
sore.
something on the screen, like explaining that, because yeah, it looked cold sorish. And I did see people in the comments be like, "That's pretty bad if you don't know the difference between a cold sore and a bruise." But if you don't see a lot of cold sores, you might not know what
But
they
also, it
look
didn't look like
like.
it looked like a bruise when it was healing up, and
Yeah.
Baldash's looked like a bruise because it was clearly purple. But
Yeah.
when he first got busted in the lip, this was red. It was red, and it was like looked achy, like it looked like a
Yeah.
cold sore. So, and
Yeah.
then I don't know if you guys have seen the still shots of like Austin had like a bunch of acne going on around his mouth, but I think
Hmm.
Austin just has acne in general because it's all over his neck. It was on his ear, like you know.
Well, that'd be hard, like all the kissing and stuff. If you have sensitive skin, like that would
Mm-hmm.
not be good. So
Yeah,
I
well,
get
that's
that.
why his sensitive skin ass should have went home tonight, but instead it was Jeremiah.
Yeah, saving Austin, that was a little crazy because not that like yeah, it's he hasn't had a connection and neither has Amaya, so yeah. I think they just maybe wanted like a shocking moment. Like it's hard to not think about the fact that they want to have a good season and they want to have big moments. And if it was just Austin and Amaya, like it would have been no reaction. Like it would have been like, oh,
Yeah,
that's
that's what I
sad.
thought. Like, oh, if them sending Jeremiah is gonna put everyone in an uproar and like everyone's gonna be talking about it. So I think
Yeah,
that was definitely a
a thought.
ploy
Yeah.
to get people
Hmm.
talking about the show because I think like everyone's
Yeah.
talking about this moment right now. It's kind of like the Andrea moment from last year. I thought they were going to
Yes.
send Andrea back, but they didn't. But maybe Jeremiah has a
Maybe they
chance.
will.
I think Jeremiah has a chance because this just happened. He just got eliminated and Casa's already tomorrow.
Hmm.
So I think he has a chance. I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I hope.
I could.
That
I
would
could see
just be
it.
an ultimate slap in the face to the boys that did send him home.
You know what? I think it would be good too because then he would get a chance to like develop something with Andrina, see how that goes, and if they actually come back together, and then Huda is with someone, we'll get to see if Huda's connection was real or if she crashes out again. So I think that might be a good test for everybody. So they should bring him back for sure.
Yeah.
If she finds someone. You don't think she'll find anyone at Casa?
I mean, she has to bring someone back
Hmm.
because she's
And those
single.
guys and those guys want to get on the show, like they want to
Yeah.
get in the villa, so they might
So at the very least, two
pretend.
guys from Casa are coming back because Andrina and Huda are single.
Yeah. And they won't send anyone home before
And
Casa.
Iris.
Yeah.
Iris is
Oh,
single.
TJ has to couple up with someone, right? Or no, I guess he'll be in the
I
other.
mean, if Casa's if Casa's tomorrow, TJ doesn't have a chance to couple. Andrina doesn't have to
Hmm.
have a chance to couple. So Andrina, Iris, and Huda are single right now. So they're all
Yeah.
three coming back with a guy.
Now, Ariana did say it gets kicked off tomorrow, so I'm going to be really annoyed if it's just like at the very end, like
They're
it's
like,
like,
oh, we're going to
yeah.
Casa. Oh God,
Yeah.
that's true.
It better not be, but it might be. I feel like maybe we need that because it would like, yeah, we need to like figure some relationships out before this
We
happens.
need to figure some relationships out because there are no strong ones going into Casa.
It's just
Like,
a bunch of single people going to another villa. It's just like
yeah,
starting
like,
over.
okay, we have Ace and Shelly, which it's like they're at the bottom of my list right now. They were at the top of my list. Like, if somebody would have asked me who I would vote to win, I really liked Ace and Shelly together.
Hmm.
But I think after Ace pissed me off, and then after this, after seeing their chat today, like, I do feel like it's a little surface level. Like, he's just
Yeah.
like, I just love being here so much. Like, you just make me so comfortable. And she's just like, thanks. Like, she's not
Hmm.
really giving us much besides
And I
being
don't,
fine. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Shelly's fine. She's pretty. I love her. She's cool, but she's not giving us much. Like, she's just like, thank you. Oh,
And
awesome.
it does feel a little produced how he kind of keeps saying like, "Oh, it took a while to get here, but like now we're here." Like, it's like you took a while. Like that was your choice. Like you said, he explored, but did he really? Not
Did he?
really.
Did he?
So,
No, he didn't
yeah.
really. Like, you partnered up with Amaya, shut her down the next day. You
Hmm.
had 2 chats with Iris, made her 1 breakfast, and then we never saw you speak to the girl again.
Yeah.
You're playing again. You're just playing it differently. Do I think that
Hmm.
Jeremiah's plan was to partner up with Huda and take it to the end? Yes, I do think that was his plan. But I also think he likes her. And I also think
Hmm.
that once he realized, oh, I can't really deal with this for the entire season, like, and it was a valid way to feel, I think he had to get the fuck out. But
Yeah.
Ace is playing it different. He thinks that, oh, we just think he's exploring too many connections because of Amaya and
Hmm.
Iris. But it's like, when you really think about it, he didn't explore shit.
Yeah. Like I said, I want Shelly to find her man in Casa. I want someone amazing to come and sweep her off her feet, and then that's enough of Ace for now.
Yeah, I
We've
want
seen
Ace to
enough.
sing. I want Ace to
We've seen
single.
what we needed to see.
We've seen what we
Yeah.
needed to see. And I hope same for Alandria. I hope she finds her man
Uh-huh.
too. But we'll see.
Yeah.
I need to look at the bombshells in Casa to see if they're even,
Hmm.
like, there's nothing that stuck
Worthy.
out to me that I was like, ooh, like, so I
Yeah.
need to look again. I need to go pause.
Yes. Well, you got anything else you want to say about these episodes?
Free Jeremiah. Bring Jeremiah
Yeah.
back. Justice for Jeremiah. That's it.
People are gonna be yelling at us because apparently there is a Huda fan base. So, like I said, tell us why you love her, and maybe she'll grow on us over the next few
But the people
episodes.
that like her are the people that act just like her. Those are the people that like her. You know what I mean?
I
That
have,
act just like her and that think that there's nothing wrong with verbally abusing a man.
yeah,
But that's what somebody said in my comments. Like, oh, Huda needs somebody is not offended by her fieriness. That's what they called it,
uh,
fieriness. Okay, okay.
yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone wants to get called a bitch on a regular basis. So I don't know if she'll find that. But like I said, she has a chance now. She has a redemption arc, or they're handing her one on a silver platter. So if she doesn't take it, you can only hide who you really are for so long, right? So she might keep her behavior under control for a couple of days, but I think if she stays, we're gonna still see Hurricane Huda a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And you know what? I'm not gonna hope anything. I'm not gonna pray on no one's downfall. But when
No.
we see it, then everybody will be like, oh yeah, we fucked up. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, we have exciting news. We finally got intro song. I'm so excited. It's so good. I love it. Obsessed.
me too.
We're not gonna have it on this episode, I don't think, because we got to work out the technological things. But next episode, you'll
Yes.
be greeted by a whole new voice. So,
Yeah.
and then us again.
And then us again. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're excited to share that with you guys.
Yes, we're super
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah.
You have
So
any
listen out
final?
for it in our next episode.
Yes, and we got a big interview tomorrow, so we gotta get some sleep as
Yes.
yes, we have our audio figured out, and it's gonna be awesome. We're
Okay.
excited.
Yes, we're
Yeah.
excited. Okay, bye guys. See you next time.
Okay, see you.